It's usually at the first speech I can take a seat back, relax, because it's when Robert Burns, not risky at all. It's the second speech that's quite risky. So, with a wee bit of apprehension, I now introduce you to Mr. Evan MacDougall.
And thank you for your help with this poem. Not all Rab's poetry met the same level of fame and success. 50 Shades of Tartan was a poem that outraged and was highly criticised by the literati of Edinburgh's high society. The Scotsman newspaper denounced Burns' autobiographical, introspective poem as a typical Burns book that took 120 lines of shitey poetry before we're anywhere near the sex. It was like having to meet with your new girlfriend's Alzheimer-ridden, incontinent grandmother for afternoon tea before getting sucked off in the car journey home. In Rab's defence, the lad was only 12 when he wrote it. Line 120 then. Today Jean was to meet with Angus McSporran. Such a brave man was he. He loved the feel of the wind up his kilt, where his huge ginger bollocks swung free. It's the age-old plight, and it'll soon be Thursday night. Jean scanned the TV Times, but there's nothing on. It's all a load of shite. Will she be staying at home with 50 Lambert and Butler, or a bottle of Lambrini and a tub of ice cream, watching Cash in the Attic, Trisha at 9 and you episode Jeremy Carl, whilst flicking her bean? Oh wait, a text from Angus McSporran, her true love to be comes through. It's benefit day birthday, so you ken what today. Now Jean was no the bonniest or brightest of souls. Her face, it had been said, was like a hatful of arseholes. Ugly enough to make an onion cry, her gun swung down past her enormous cauliflower-like thigh. But for Angus McSporran, she was just his type of lass. He cared not for her appearance, just her tits, legs and ass. She was so glad to have nicked that velour purple tracky frame on soon. It would be worth every hasbo if Angus is hung like a baboon. Jean longed that it be torn from her body and left dangling from the lamp's shade, totally ripped, stained with semen, unwearable, so just as well she never paid. Jean kenned it would be love at first sight. Her love would never be the same. Unlike when she was with her ex named Rab, who was usually so rico-picoed, he'd even forget his own name. When she met Rab, she was doing the job centre, thinking of reasons why she couldn't work. When Rab grabbed her arse, introduced himself and flashed his semi-erect cork. Which is rare, because crack normally plays havoc with his erections. Jean's mates told her to leave Rab. Violence with drink is nae good for you, Jean. But she shrugged them all off. He loves me. I know this to be true. He takes all his rings off, so the marks won't be seen. It was the longest relationship she'd have without a wane, except for last year when she had to get rid of it when she got back from Spain. The relationship died out with the inevitable end when Rab did the dirty on her with her very best friend. Oh, another text from Angus comes through. Meet round the chippy, back at 20 minutes past 2. So to preen herself, she weed-whacked her lady garden smooth, bald and clean, to look like it did when she'd just turned 13. She did... Hero it. She takes great care not to press too hard and cut the man's throat, the throat of the wee man that sits symmetrically in her boat. Lying in the bath, letting her imagination of Angus run through, she's rubbing his whiter than white back, his spots spell in braille, Jean, I love you. Closing her eyes, she dreamed, his scent, a blend of Link's Africa, BO and weed. Over excitement, she fanny farted and peed. Later that night, doing back the alley between the wheelie bins, Jean met up with Angus to carry out their sins. Angus, a mighty man of muscle brawn with shoulders 3 foot wide, his hair fire red, of which no man jokes, because if they did, they died. He teased the wee lass as he kneaded and fondled her fruit. She sobbed with throes of delight. Now let's play a good tune on your pink flute. She whipped up his kilt in one lustful move and gazed on what was beneath, and couldn't believe the size of his huge ginger balls, thick pubes that could floss a row of shark's teeth. As Jean reamed all the way to her epiglottis, Angus rose and arched his back. And just like Will Lawyers, shouted freedom before emptying his almighty sack. The force was so strong from the porridge attacked from his balls, poor wee Jean was blown through 3 fucking brick walls. With her head battered and bruised, and downright smarting, Jean could swear she could see 50 Shades of Tartan. The world was not ready for Ginger Bollock's hero. 50 Shades of Tartan did, however, introduce the world to the wheelie bit. This was to start Burns to fame and recognition that was still enjoyed today. Oh, cursed wheelie bit beastie, whose grundies are damp, bloodied and yeasty. Her face, I notice, is like a welder's bench. I go down on her, there's an unpleasant stench. I frankly search for the nearest paper bag to put over her face so I can't see the fat slag. I'm getting laid so I don't give a damn. All I'm hoping for is a huge wham bam, thank you ma'am. Lowest of all ladylike creatures, in her there are no redeeming features, which is why she's only taken out at night, being partially lit and kept out of sight. I had to put down a warning in print, beware the one called the wheelie bit. Wheelie bit, a woman so ugly that she only gets taken out once a week, in the dark by dustmen, coined by Burns and made it to the Edinburgh Chambers Dictionary in 1796. The following year, Oxford Dictionary also adopted the term. To finance his passion for poetry, Rob took on a posting for the Samaritans. This was not to last when an inquiry was held after Rab had instructed a suicide victim who had tied themselves to the Edinburgh-Glasgow railway line to stay on the line. He eventually settled in a post, however, at the Dumfries Tractor Monthly Gazette, offering advice as an agony uncle. Held in the archives, the Edinburgh Gentlemen's Society, was the following. Dear Rab, I'm so unlucky with love. I just keep falling for the wrong women. What should I do? Well, young lady, seems like you need Big Ram's dictionary for women's personal lives. This can be bought from most main parchment shops in most main cities for a threepenny bit, but I'll give you a wee taster now. When they write 40-ish, they mean 49. Adventurous means sleeps with everyone. Athletic means natives. Average looking means ugly. Feminist read fat. Fun read annoying. Professional read bitch. Voluptuous read very fat. Large frame reads hugely fat. Wants a soulmate reads stalker. No means yes. Yes means no. Maybe means no. We means I want. I'm sorry means you'll be sorry. And we need to talk. Well, pack your bags because you're going on a guilt trip. Dear Rab, my husband still pines for his old girlfriends, and I'm afraid he won't be faithful, writes Muriel from Aberdeen. A man's capacity of love is boundless. It has even been proven to increase with the number of sexual partners he has. Thus, having a few more women, your partner's really increasing his love for you. I would ignore this aspect of his behaviour and make his favourite bowl of porridge. Dear Rab, my husband and I have just got married and I feel he's gone too many nights out with the boys. What should I do? Asks Louise from Hoyk. It's a coincidence, really. This is perfectly natural behaviour for a man and should be encouraged. The man is a hunter and needs to prove his prowess with other men. Far from being pleasurable, a night out with the boys is a stressful affair, and to get home is just a relief. Just look how emotional and happy he is when he returns home, especially if you make his favourite bowl of porridge. Dear Rab, my boyfriend wants to experience three in a bed with me and my sister. What should I say? Ponders Heather from Kirkcaldy. Your boyfriend is clearly devoted to you. He can't get enough of you, so he goes for the next best thing. Your sister. Far from being an issue, this will bring the family together in mourning over a piping hot bowl of porridge. Why not get your yummy mummy involved too? Dear Rab, what should I do? Cries Waz from East Kilbride. My husband continually expects me to perform oral sex whilst I'm pregnant. Do it. His offer to you to perform oral sex is totally selfish. Oral sex is extremely painful for a man. This shows that he loves you. The best thing to do is thank him and use a good mouthful of his favourite porridge as lubricant. Dear Ab, my husband doesn't know where my clitoris is, explains Deirdre from Dundee. Your clitoris is of no concern to him. If you mess with it, do it on your own time. You'd be far better off spending your time perfecting his favourite wall porridge. Dear Ab, my husband has never given me an orgasm, gasped Donna from Dundee. The female orgasm is a mythful. It is a pleasant concept being festered by militant, man-hating, loony left-wing, boiler-suited feminists in an attempt to destroy the family unit. Do not ever mention this again. Dear Ab, what should I do? Sobs wore out from Edinburgh. The other day I set off to work, leaving my other half at home where he is a man at leisure. I got onto my horse, but he failed to start. After a few attempts I started on my journey, but about a mile down the lane my horse stopped again. But this time, he would move no further. So I walked home, only to find my man in bed, in the house, with a chrome dildo stuck right up his arse. When I confronted him, he admitted that he'd been rotting his drains out for a year or so. He won't go for counselling. I'm at my wit's end. I think your horse is constipated, probably due to you feeding inferior oats. I'd work harder and afford the proper Quaker oat dish to be fine. Dear Ab, I always get tongue-tied when I try and speak up to a lady. Have you any sort of chat-up lines for me? 'Tis true, I have luck for the sair sex. I'll give you two of my best chat-up lines. The one that's worked for all my girls, and you don't even have to take them out for an expensive bowl of porridge. I simply ask, do you smell chloroform on my handkerchief? The other one that never fails is, why do women use these two fingers to masturbate? Because they're mine. Well, it only remains for me to say that Rab was well and truly understood by the fairer sex. Whether it was innate or acquired, or it could have even been witchcraft, no one will know. In Rab's honour, gentlemen, raise your glasses. A toast to the lasses.
Lassies. Lassies. Lassies.